Yeah.
And we should be live on Twitch and on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, shocker. Right, welcome to what are we calling this? Radio Paradise, which is our hobby news update live broadcast. And joined by Ross, Simon,
Hello.
and Carl.
Evening.
Evening. Everyone feeling all right apart from Carl?
I'm alive, but yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. We're going to start off with Carl this week on the grounds that he's not feeling very good, and there's a chance that he may pass out. Unless Simon let us down last week with not dying during the live broadcast. If it happens this week, could someone cry? And just be sort of like, oh, he was such a nice man, it didn't. Not me, of course, because I've had my tear duct surgically removed. With all the goodness in my heart. So it has to be Ross, I think. Okay, right, we're going to start with Carl. Carl, you're up, your graphics up.
Are we going for it straight away? Oh, righty ho.
Straight in, mate.
Righty ho. No introductions for what people are doing.
Well,
no, that's fine.
Yeah, because you haven't done fuck all.
Absolutely not. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I've looked at things to buy. That's my hobby.
I'll go around and ask people what they've done, just to give you. I'm going to start with Ross, and I'll go Simon and you. You can make some bullshit up in that time.
Yeah.
So Ross, what have you been doing hobby-wise?
Modifying my Imperial Knight yet again. Putting an engine in the back of the cockpit. That's right, I said cockpit.
Cockpit.
And painting it up like a Battlestar Galactica Viper.
Right, okay. Why?
Because I thought it was different and I like the colours.
Isn't it not meant to be some sort of link to your chapter?
Yeah, but screw it. I'm never going to play it. I just like to paint it and convert it.
Okay. Alright, Simon, what about yourself?
Been painting McGaw, or finishing painting McGaw's Fiend, getting ready for the Grand Clash this weekend at Warhammer World.
Ooh. Nice.
So they are now all painted.
Well, we're going to see pictures of them later on, yeah?
Yep.
Excellent. Carl.
Yeah, what have I done?
Been so busy, I'm sure that you just can't remember all of it.
Well, yeah, there's that as well.
Any of it.
No. No, yeah, not really done a lot on the building painting. We did have a small game of Lord of the Rings last week.
We did.
Myself and John, which, yeah, started okay. Didn't go so well in the end for my Easterlings, but, yeah, back to the drawing board and figuring out a few changes for that soon.
Well,
yes.
you've got to know how to lose before you know how to win.
Absolutely. Yeah, with Easterlings, it's not that difficult, you know.
What, to lose? No,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Mind you, the Army of the Dead, which is the army I was running, are just monsters. They're tanks, aren't they?
Yeah, take some shifting.
They do.
So, little minions. But, yeah, anyway, but yeah.
There was another game going on at the time.
I'm not sure what it is. It was really, really big on deployment, I think, wasn't it?
Well, it's really big on people just shouting rules across the table.
I mean, it might have nothing to do with the game, but just random rules.
Just random rules, like, yeah. Oh, there goes my camera. So anyway, right, Carl. We're going to moving on. So Carl, you got your graphic up, and
we have, and I think we got some pictures of. Yeah, we've mentioned it the last few times. Things that have cost me money this week. So yeah, my postie will be not leaving alive if they aren't here on Saturday. But
can I just interrupt? If you're watching this on Facebook, there is a bigger delay than normal. That is When we broadcast to Twitch, if you watch it on Twitch, it's about 10 seconds. If you watch it on Facebook, it's about 20 seconds. So when we're loading pictures and you can't always see them, they are coming. They're just 20 seconds behind because technology is a wonderful thing. Sorry, Carl. Yes, go on.
Here we are. Yeah, that's right. Moving on. So, Gondor at War will be in our hands on Saturday, hopefully.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll all be looking for the new legendary alliances and the new things that are coming for us all. There's a lot of new characters been leaked in there. So, yeah, so we'll all have a nice shopping list in the coming months, hopefully. So, yeah, that's that one. I think RRP was 30 quid for anyone who's interested, and obviously cheaper from various sources.
Yeah. So, you did say to me on Friday there was quite a lot of scenarios on.
Yeah, I think was it 29 was mentioned, so it was quite a high number. I don't have the thing in front of me because I'm not that with it today, but yeah, a lot of sort of narrative scenarios through that part of sort of Return of the King and the end of the war. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Obviously, a lot of people. We got new captains for most of the races involved. Yeah, so we will see next week, I'm sure. And I think the picture's going to move on to the new 3 hunters for us.
It has. There it is.
Yeah, and the new plastic ones are those. Yeah, I've got plenty of different ones of them anyway, but yeah, we've got a set of those coming.
You would get that just for Gimli.
Yeah, I think the Gimli is excellent in that. He looks it. Again, I've had a little not sure on some of these faces they're producing as good likenesses, but still good poses.
So,
and
last week when we were talking about the faces, I was questioning if they still had permission to use the likeness of the characters.
yeah,
But then you've got what's his face on the box.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So I'm still going with the fact this new plastic technology.
It's the technology and the sculpting behind and how they do it. I think
can't do it too well because you look at some of the old metal ones and they're just spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, Gimli there, he's the smallest one and probably the best likeness, isn't it? So that's something. But yeah, again, these will be on the way at the weekend. Yeah, all in plastic, obviously, so no horrible resin and bending things trying to put the weapon straight. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Simon, how many axes has Gimli got?
8.
8.
Score. Yeah. As he should be.
Yeah.
This is the way of things. You remember that from last week.
Here we are. Here's our favourite thing at the moment. Hopefully they've done as good a job as the last one, but General's pack, so all the new up-to-date scenarios, a reference sheet for useful prompts, your pad of rosters so you can write out your list if you ever get that far, and lots of shiny tokens for keeping the game going, remembering what you've done. Big fan of those personally, because all these games it's good to play it right, and it's so easy to forget something. So yeah, I love those, and obviously we've been using the previous ones, which I know John loves the particular engineering of One Piece, which
it dawned on me, like being struck by lightning on Friday, just how clever those tokens are.
Yeah.
You've got your charge token, so you can put it on your
cavalry charge. Yeah.
And if you win the combat, you flip the token over, so your model's prone.
Yeah, Yep, the other side of the token, because they're double-sided, does perfectly what you're going to do. So yeah, you charge your horsey in, does the cavalry charge. If you win, and you get your knockdown infantry, flip the token over, job done.
Brilliant. And it's only
Yeah.
taken me since September to figure this out.
Yeah, and again, all the other ones, there's the various spell ones
I
with
was so
the
impressed.
channeled version on the back and things like that. So
I was so
yeah,
impressed that when I got home that Friday evening, I broke open the box because we were using your tokens.
yeah,
Popped the tokens out the card, took a black marker pen and edged all the black around the sides and put super glue on it just to reinforce them because I thought I'm using them.
yeah, useful stuff.
Because I can barely remember what I was doing in each game round. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's especially the larger games as well. It is really handy to have those little prompts. But yeah, I can't even remember the figure I've paid for that to order it. It wasn't too much, and I would recommend it really for anyone who's going to play.
it's got match
Middle
play
Earth and
scenarios on it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
is there scenarios in there?
These are the same as the ones in the book that we've been playing.
Right.
But it's a little deck of cards with each scenario and the special rules and the deployment and your victory points and however it may be. So it just saves you flicking to that page or that section of the book all the time. You can just have the card on the table. This is what we're playing. It was again in the last edition, but obviously some scenarios have changed, so I leave that pack of cards on the shelf these days. But yeah, another nice little thing. But moving away from Middle Earth for a while. Yeah. But yeah. Again, new this week. The add-on book for Titanicus called Titan Death. I haven't gone for it yet because Titanicus is on the back burner. But it does say there's a bit about campaigns and link games in it, which I think could be interesting. And obviously it's a continuation or a main start of some story in there from the Horus Heresy. So yeah.
Right.
A lot of titans and knights dying and blowing up. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
can't be a
understand
bad thing.
So a small
And yeah, and that was
Yes, it is.
the new version of the Reaver, I think, that's coming with it, with some different weapons. The one picture I've not snagged this week is on GW Direct. There is also the separate sprue for alternates. Is it Warhound or one of the other Titans? So you can vary your weapons and magnetize them without buying a whole new Titan. So yeah, that's promising as well. Yeah, I think that's the Titanicus bits that we got this week. I think my next ones were a couple of Forge World editions. We've started selling some more spare heads. In this case, for some Stormcast, although, I'm sure you could make use of some of them on a lot of things.
Put them on spikes.
Yeah.
Chaos Wave.
For those that way inclined, I'm sure, yeah, but that could be quite expensive. I think these are 12 quid a pack. So, yeah.
It's not.
It's not, is it? It's Stormcast. It's worth it to put.
Absolutely, it depends on your
To pike 'em.
budget, I'm sure. But yeah, that's obviously the optional male ones, and the second pack in a minute is for female
the
ones.
non-trigger ones.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
The non-trigger ones, yeah.
yeah.
I hope
Yeah,
those heads
so-
look good on a body that's covered in chainmail bikini.
Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, that was this week's Forge World things. Nothing groundbreaking for the other games there.
Star
Yeah.
Wars Legion.
Yeah, bit of Legion news. So where have we gone first? The Occupier Assault Tank with Stormtroopers. Yeah. I think this is going to be a couple of months away or a bit more. Has just been put out there. I'm assuming it's quite big because the RRP is the wrong side of 50. I think some discount places have put it at about 54 on pre-orders. So I'm assuming it's going to be pretty big. Yeah, it's, I suppose, expanding Legion and
How much? Hold on a minute, because they're
Yeah.
32mm miniatures, right?
Yeah.
How much?
This is the thing. The AT-ST was. I've got it in front of me somewhere.
Well, actually, one
No.
in front, like a real
Oh.
one.
No, that's behind me
Real
in the
size.
box. But no, no, that's 42 quid on discount sites. So this is a little bit more. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll see more down the lines. I mean,
How big is that, Ross?
that's what I'm trying to figure. The base is obviously a slightly different shape to most of them, so I'm sort of trying to judge
Ross,
how big.
how big? How much is that? Space Marine Primaris tank thing.
The
The repulsor.
Is that what it is?
Around about 40 quid. Yeah, the new one. Yeah,
this is
well, newish one.
Because that's
Primaris one.
a big chunky model.
yeah.
And I'm surprised that this is over £50.
Yeah. And to be fair, that is a discount site. If you like. I'm just looking for it. £52.19 is
I mean, you
the
get some
price I've got
cards
in
and
front
stuff
of me.
in the box, but yeah, I know
But
what
yeah,
you're saying.
obviously, with like all Legion, you get a bit of card stock there because it's kind of necessary, but not.
I'm not saying
It-
I'm not going to get it.
No, quite. It is quite a high tariff, that one, I would
Stupid
say.
question:
So,
is it painted?
no.
No, think so. I would like it to be painted for that price.
Wouldn't we all like?
I would like to have someone come around my house, build it, and paint it.
Absolutely.
I can sit there and watch them do it for that sort of
It's,
price.
yeah, that's the one thing I've got against that, but I'm sure we'll see again how relevant this is. The other one with it. They've been playing Pimp My Ride with Luke Skywalker's old vehicle after he sells it at Mos Eisley, obviously. Yeah, I think this one was in the 40 quid range as well. So again, I'm not sure scaling and whatever, but yeah, Legion's going towards the vehicles. We'll be getting some variants, so I suppose we will see what the future brings there.
We did have some other news, and I haven't loaded up the picture. It was the
The operatives was
Operatives.
yeah. The Imperial Specialists and I think it's the Rebel Specialists actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
They call them.
which
Again, these I think these are going to be about end of the month, possibly, but they have been known of for quite a while now. But you obviously get a little droid, a leader type character, a comms specialist, and a medical droid in each pack, which will make some changes to how Legion plays, I'm sure. Those are a bit better. They're about 17 quid, those packs,
Yeah,
I think.
I can
There's
understand
4
that.
miniatures, so it's it's still on par with most things, I guess.
I can even see £25 for the 6-man Stormtrooper thing as being alright, to be fair.
Yeah,
But 50 quid for the other thing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. My opinion is it's got to be quite big to warrant that sort of. Which, you know, if the stormtroopers are in scale, that is going to be a fair chunk. But they could have done something a smidge more interesting. I think is my conclusion on that.
James is watching us on Facebook.
Ooh,
I know, shocker, right?
hello.
So if he does type anything, it's bound to make no sense whatsoever.
No, I'm not actually viewing Facebook at the minute, so see that.
Kill team.
Kill team now, and next week's or next Saturday's pre-order Kill Team Arena for the match play competitive type. But again, it's yet another expansion. There's a lot going on with this game, but it does look to lend itself well to how we play games, I guess, in the club environment. You know, standardise your lists and things. Yeah, I think there might be some more about that later on, so I won't go too far on that. I'm not sure. There may be not. But yeah, that's the actual arena box set. So available pre-order Saturday, and the usual. Here's some new scenery box set. Which is those new ruins that I never remember the name of.
Simon.
That someone at the club had on Friday night, and I still don't remember.
Sector Imperialis?
No, it's not the Mechanicus. It was the ones that
not Sector Imperialis.
It's something sector, but they're quite.
Make up a stupid name.
Yeah, they have made up yet another new name for this box, so we'll go with that. But yeah, they're generally a pretty good deal if you like that sort of thing. And obviously,
is this just Kill Team or Kill Team Arena?
Well, I mean, this is for Kill Team.
It's like Kill Team.
A whole. Yeah, I mean, scenery you can use, but I'm guessing Arena can be played in various. You know,
yeah,
areas, landscapes, whatever. I may be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we'll expand on it in a minute, but yeah. The sector set is for Kill Team. Arena is a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Anyway.
I shall look forward to your.
Yeah, we'll leave that to someone who's been in the know with these people. And again, more Kill Team teams. So some Gene Stealer cults, and I believe the character guy is actually new, isn't he?
He is brand new.
Absolutely brand new. I thought he was, but
pistol gunslinging.
Yeah.
Gene Stealer cultist. This looks amazing.
I remember seeing something about this now.
Yeah, he just looks absolutely amazing. The miniature is just
Yeah.
I will probably not right now, but I will end up probably purchasing that just to paint that miniature. So
is this like a pre-built Kill Team, like my Dark Elf stuff?
Yeah, this is on par
exactly.
To a degree.
It's more of the it's more of an expansion for the what did they call it? The Commanders. This
involves commanders and a few troops rather than the originals, which just the box of troops, weren't they?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And so we got these guys, and I think the next one.
You can tell I'm well up on it. Is this the same as the pre-generated for my Dark Elder lot?
Yeah, again.
I don't even know what they're called anymore.
No.
Slicing Noose.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. I need to get them painted.
Just remember that game at some point. Yeah.
It's a good game, I enjoy it.
Yeah, it was decent.
Plus I beat Simon, so... There's always a bonus in there somewhere.
Always a brainer.
Yeah, again, that's a rather skitary one on there. Again, similar format. Not sure, Simon. Is it a new character, this one, or is he another?
The Skitsari one is a new character as well, yeah.
He is. Yeah,
Yeah.
couldn't remember if it was both, but yeah, that's obviously going to get a few people to grab that from
Well, yeah, people are getting
40k following.
Yeah, never mind. They'll get over
But
it.
yeah. Anyway, that's I think the exciting news that we've planned for this week. So I will leave that one there and go on to John for some Outlands news, I think. Or not a lot of Outlands news, who knows? Could be something completely different.
I've just
but
seen the
here we are.
message that James has put up.
Alright.
Facebook. You're calming
Can't see
him.
James.
You're calming him with your voice, Carl.
Good.
He's not
That's
actually
right.
watching, he's just listening to you.
Like, yeah, that's.
Which, I don't know.
I've been told that before, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what by a listening dog. Right, so my section. Shall we start off?
Yeah, carry on. Mate.
So, on the last live update, we mentioned that we was going to have a special with Simon, and that would have been last Monday. And that didn't happen for a number of reasons, but one of the big reasons is Outlands Special Edition. If you didn't see the video from Monday, basically Outlands Special Edition is everything we've released for Outlands in one 324 page book. Ross has got a copy, haven't you, Ross?
Aye.
Right, and we won't ask too much from Ross because it's obviously too difficult. What did you think of it, Ross?
I thought it was amazing. I really did. When you see everything laid out in front of you, it's impressive. I have a word for it.
Yeah. So that goes up on general release on the 4th of February. But if you're part of our Facebook group, which you can find by one of the tags scrolling across the bottom of the screen, you can get it for £14.40 before the 4th of February. And that is absolutely everything. So that's the Outlands Core Rule book, How to Be a Badass Legends book, the Noob book, all of the missions, so there's 14 missions in there, the Revelations campaign, and the 50 abilities that we put out during the patch updates. I've forgotten about. Now we've stopped doing them, I've forgotten about them. The 9 special characters that you can get, everything. It's all a bit of a preparation for when we go into phase 2, which at this moment in time is looking further and further away because there's too much stuff going on. So if you want to get your hands on a printed 324 page complete Outlands book, now's your chance to do it. outlandsthegame.co.uk will take you straight to Facebook, and from there you'll find a link to get that book. I'll just move on. If you're a member of our Patreon, you would have seen a video yesterday, or a video in your email, about how I generate relic weapons. And we generated one as I recorded it, and that is the Confusion, which should be on your screens now. That will be posted with the full price after the show, directly after the show. I've got too much going on my computer at the minute. I'm going to press a button, we're all going to go offline in a minute. So that's being done. Relic items will be changing in phase 2 of Outlands because there's more weapons coming up. Just to let you know. Outlands news is this week I've started compiling all the rules for bounty hunters. Bounty hunters is our first time doing a themed warband for Outlands. So in Outlands it is basically 5 models. You build your warband, you play games, you level them up, and you buy more special abilities for them. They're all considered to be human and all considered to be the term Spice Hunter. Bounty Hunters work a bit different. They are a theme, so they do have their own set of special rules that they can use. They still use the basic core mechanics of the game, but they have their own special rules, and they have their own special abilities that they can take. Now, to stop a lot of confusion, we're going to introduce a thing called keywords. For the bounty hunters, the keyword is bounty hunter. So when you see an ability or a special action that you wish to purchase, or an item, and it has the keyword bounty hunter on it, unless your warband is bounty hunters, or you've hired a bounty hunter into your spice hunter team, you will not be able to take that particular item, special ability, or skill. They are reserved strictly for the bounty hunters. So up until now, all weapons, skills and equipment have been open. There's never been any keyword to it. So a bounty hunter can take anything with the keyword bounty hunter and anything that isn't, that hasn't got a keyword as such. So they can still take the abilities from the core rulebook. This keyword will roll out over a number of different other factions. So we have the Sisterhood of the One-Eyed Snake, which may change to the Cult of Khan, Cock for short. And I'm looking at doing another themed warband about the Nomads, and maybe some Corporation Special Forces. So those keywords will become quite important the further and further, the more we add in, the more important they'll become. Bounty hunters in general have some very, very good passive abilities, which they can get as they level up. The downside to that is, because everything's got to have a downside, for the name of balance, because we're not Games Workshop, is I can tell you now that a bounty hunter warband only starts with 3 models, but they're kick-ass models. So that's what's going on there. So that's just a quick look at how we're going to fit these different skills and abilities and items into the game that are just specifically for a themed warband. An example being, this is a special ability you can buy, special action, it's called Double Tap. I haven't put the credits price in there yet, that's always the last thing that gets done. It can be taken by the active and reactive player. When the bounty hunter kills a hostile model in close combat, and that hostile model is in base-to-base contact with the bounty hunter, then the bounty hunter player can declare double tap. The bounty hunter draws his pistol, aims at the fallen target, and without a moment to draw a breath, releases 2 shots into the head of the defeated foe. The model that has been double tapped is immediately removed from the game board. This model cannot be revived in any way and can no longer take any further part in the battle mission. So that's just for a bounty hunter. The keyword, the requirements down there, which you won't see because there's some graphics in the world, requirements, keyword bounty hunter. So only bounty hunters can take this. No one else. You've got to be level 5 as well to get it, but that could change. That's the type of thing a bounty hunter can do. So when they lack in numbers, they make up with basically killing your models outright. So you can't revive them during the game, which I'm sure Ross is going to love.
Oh yeah.
Moving on. How would you like to win a £25 Amazon gift voucher?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Cole's gone, dead.
Oh, I didn't record it either.
Yeah, I know. No gargling or anything like that. No crying or no flashing of life. You can win. This is for our community, not for people who are part of Shades of Chaos or House of Chaos. because a couple of our followers, Kev being one of them, has created 2 accounts and he's following us. You can follow us on Twitch. So if you're watching this on Facebook now, if you go to www.twitch.tv/House of Chaos Productions, and that's all one word, House of Chaos Productions, click the follow button, you'll be entered into the contest to win a £25 Amazon gift voucher. How that's going to work is, at the end of the month, I just need to read the rules myself now. At the end of the month, if we have 50 followers, I shall do a draw live on the 31st of January at 7 PM, which I think, if I remember rightly, is a Thursday. Could be wrong. If we don't have 50 followers, it will roll over till the next month, and then if during February if we have 50 followers, then I will do the draw at the end of February, and then we'll pass out the prize. Once again, it will keep rolling over until we get 50 followers on Twitch. After this competition's done, we will do another one, and the target number will be 75. So it's easy to do. All you got to do is press a button, and you're in. Right. We have got a couple of wargaming events coming up. Plymouth Wargamers Association, or PAW, Plymouth and Devon in the UK, that is, have their annual wargaming event on the 2nd and 3rd of February at the YMCA building in Plymouth. It's a 2-day event. Ross and myself will be there for 2 days. In body, probably not so much in mind on Sunday, because we usually hit special brew, the Red Bull. That's what I meant. Although I was thinking special brew has the same sort of effect on me, and it can all get a bit messy. So if you're in Plymouth on those dates, come down and have a game of Outlands or an introduction, or just to see Ross in the nude.
Yay!
And the next one after that, next event booked in after that, is Legionary War Game Show in Exeter, Saturday the 11th of May. Someone did say it the 12th of May, Saturday the 12th of May. I don't know who that was. Obviously an idiot, because there isn't a Saturday the 12th of May in 2019. It's a 1-day event. Ross and myself will be there again. We will have 2 tables running. It's a good show. If you go to xmfwargames.org.uk, you'll find out all the details and how to find a place there. And I think I'm coming to the end of my stuff. Test of Honour grabs my attention this week for a number of reasons. If you listen to 2Ps in the pod, and if you don't, I fully understand why. You would have heard Ben go on about Test of Honour and the fun he's been having building his models, and he made a few name checks to a person called John who's playing it with him. Well, that is me. Although I haven't played Ben yet, and I've only played a couple of games and I really like it, but this week it's been announced that Test of Honour 2nd edition is in the works. So Warlord Games published Test of Honour, and it seems like they've either dropped it, or the original writers, which is a guy called Graham Davey, have got the rights back to it, or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. I do know Warlord Games purchased the rights to Wargames Factory, and they used their samurai miniatures in the game, so it might have just been an excuse for them to sell more miniatures. I suspect it's more that way than it is the fact that they've dropped Test of Honour, because it's a very popular game. Project Z, which was also done by Warlord Games. I'm not entirely sure if that's still going. I'll just have a quick look.
I love the models. Fantastic.
Well, the thing being, those miniatures were made by War Games Factory as well.
Hmm.
And now it's come straight up with Element Games because it doesn't like me that much. Warlord. There it is. Yay. So we go down to their other games section. Strontium Dog's still there, you know, and I'm very tempted to get that as being a bit of a 2000 AD fanboy. Let's just load in. Yeah, it looks like Project Z's gone as well. So I'm not entirely sure what's happened there, but once again, that might have just been a way for them to sell War Games Factory's miniatures. Because I had some of these samurai miniatures and some of the zombie miniatures before it was Project Z and before it was Test of Honor. Anyway, back to Test of Honor. So the guy who originally wrote the rules is now doing the second edition of it. They've started up a company called Grey for Now, which is a reference to the state of the gentleman's painting of his miniatures. So grey plastic. And they put a post up on Facebook explaining what they're doing. And it does seem to me it's like a spit and a polish to the rules. They did mention that it might change some of the cavalry rules. Can't even speak now. Because I know they did seem very weak when I played. I played Adam English from the world of 28mm, if you know him, and we used cavalry models in that, and they just didn't really have any impact on the game whatsoever. Because Test of Honor is a card-driven unit game, so your units are on cards, they're not talking about changing the cards, changing the mechanics behind it. So, yeah, I think that's a good move. Because anyone who's played X-Wing or War Machine and Hordes will know that when they change an edition, you normally get a new set of cards which you have to purchase, and it seems like that's not going to be the case. They're actually talking about producing their own models to go with it as well. They did mention, if you put Test of Honor in Facebook search, it'll come up, you'll be able to read it all, that there is another company now producing the miniatures for Test of Honor, which is a good thing, because those samurai miniatures are just dog shit. They really are. The metals are great, but the plastics, War Games Factory plastics, I haven't got any. Oh, yes I do. Just horrible. So I'm kind of really looking forward to that now, because it is a very good game. Simon, have you played it?
I must admit, I haven't played it. I saw something about it a long time ago, but yeah, I haven't played it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's been very popular. It's not your 40k or your AOS, but it is very popular. I do have to start a set somewhere, and I've got most of that built up and ready to play. But the starter set for, I think it was like £40. There was enough in there for 2 armies. So, and they're not big armies. It's sort of like skirmish, but you do have unit sizes in it. It's hard to explain.
Is it a bit like Saga?
Possibly. I'm just trying to remember the last time I played Saga, which was at Dice and Daggers, so it must have been 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because that seems to be relatively small points values, but...
Yeah, I mean, the points value is like 23 in Test of Honor. That's their recommended size. People have played it at 50, which I think could be problematic. But yeah, it's a great game. Come down the club one night, I'll dig it out and we'll try and have a game. I still
Yeah,
have
definitely.
some masked men to build, so I might do a video on. I've been in the box, obviously, but I might go through that box and just do a video unboxing on that, and maybe even get around to building them and painting them. That's
Building
it.
and painting them.
Yes, building and painting them.
Cool.
I know. I don't know. I'm just so.
Where's John to? Where is John to?
Yeah, I would like to know. John is very tired. Okay, I think that's the end of me, and we're into Ross, I believe.
You're into Ross.
I've always been into you.
Hey.
Okay.
And
Went to a weird place.
you went to a weird place because that sounded very different this end.
Yes.
Right, Ross, we're going to start with your doubles tournament.
Went to a doubles tournament on Saturday. My friend Ant White, who goes to our local club, and the tournament was in Curtin Games in Crediton, which is always a good venue. And very friendly, welcoming guys. Good layout. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a doubles 40k tournament. It's the first doubles I've ever gone to, and didn't totally shame myself, but yeah, came about halfway and had a damn good time.
Yeah, you finished 10th out of 20.
Yeah. I didn't think it was too bad for first attempt.
What did you and Ant take with you?
Well, he has to share the same keyword as me, or me versus him. He normally plays Necrons and I play Blood Angels, but he had some spare Marines, and he decided to go and paint them as Salamanders. Use their chapter tactics, and obviously I play Blood Angels, like I usually do. So considering this was a brand new army for Ant, and we've never done doubles before, it was a bit of a new thing to try. So there was a draw, a win, and a loss from us. Like John said, we came 10th, so
Yeah,
it wasn't too bad.
I mean, 40k tournaments, you're reasonably new to them, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, we play quite a few games, but we're not like hardcore players. And as you expect, there was quite a lot of Imperial Knights there at the tournament, and they did exceptionally well, like they normally do. But
Yeah, a couple of the guys from Games Workshop Exeter came across as well, didn't they?
oh yeah, really nice guys.
Neil, I think, wasn't it? Was it Neil?
Yeah. Did he come first?
I think they did.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that in the top three who was actually there. I mean, third place was a guy that I've played before in a tournament, in a 2,000-point game, and he was playing his knights as per usual, so it's not a surprise to see him in the top three. But yeah, there was Raven Wing in the top three, which was a bit of a surprise, which is another Space Marine chapter. And a Towel, I believe, as well, which Towel have always been very good at shooting people off the board. But it's getting the objectives, though. That's the thing, you need to be up front. But extremely nicely painted models, which always gets me going anyway. That's what I'm into. Only shinies.
So,
The other kind of models.
So did they do a best painted army?
They did. Best painted, best sportsman. What was the others? Obviously, first, second, third. There was Wooden Spoon. I think there was a judge's choice as well. So I don't know what the criteria was for that. They didn't specify, but yeah, the guy that came second got judge's choice as well. So. But no, it was a nice spread of players. So there was Orcs and Eldar and pretty much everyone. I don't think there was one that was missed out. I didn't see Cultists for whatever reason. I'm not sure if they got a codex out or not. Could be a
What,
reason
Gene
for it.
Cult?
Yeah,
They're the next one, aren't they?
so that's probably why we didn't see them. But surprisingly enough, did see two Sisters of Battle players.
Yeah, they've just had the updating chapter approved, haven't they? So
Yeah, so a bit of a beta codex. So it's nice to see them on the table since, was it third, fourth edition, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. And they would be perfect for those Stormcast heads.
Oh god, yeah, definitely. But yeah, this is a Night Lord's army that I really like the look of.
That's gorgeous, that is.
That Dreadnought was an amazing paint job. Exceptional job on the Lightning.
So how many points was it?
So combined, it's 2,000 points. So 1,000 points each per player. And they have to share the same keywords, so you can't have like Eldar with anything from Imperium, for example.
Yeah. So is that the two armies there in one team?
Yes, that's it.
So that's 2,000 points.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is enough, really. You know, if it was 2,000 points per player, so a 4,000 point game, it could go on for a very long time. And it was a timed game anyway, so 2.5 hours per game. It kicked off about 10 o'clock because the meeting was 9:30 to say all the basic rules and things were, because we're using the 2018 chapter approved missions, which is the new codex released not too long ago. It started about 10 o'clock. It's about an hour drive for me, so we were probably done by 7. I mean, there was a lot of gassing afterwards and shaking hands and chatting about people's armies. But yeah, it's a pretty good day. It's about 7 hours of gaming, solid gaming.
Cool. And Curtin always do a good event.
Oh yeah, and the price.
And there he goes.
Always have a laugh. Never had a bad experience there.
Ross, right, you dropped right out then. We didn't hear any of that. Or was it me dropping out?
No, it seems alright at my end.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ross, you still there?
Oh dear.
Dropping in and out.
Well,
How's that?
That's better.
Yeah, knocked the mic there like a numpty. In a fit of excitement.
Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, finishing mid-tables, I'm quite impressed, to be honest, because you've not been doing it a long time. The 40k tournaments. I know you've done a lot of War Machine tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm good at those either.
But I can only imagine that Ant's got a bad back after carrying you all day Saturday. You know I don't mean it.
No, he had a damn good laugh. He's already signed up for the next one. And I know we were both interested in going to Barb's in Red Roof. Been to one of theirs already. Barb's Models.
Barb's lovely down there.
Yeah. That was my only event I've ever been to, and I certainly will go back. They're hoping to do every other month AOS, and in between that, every other month 40k. So that's what they're hoping to do anyway, and they're going to try it and see how it goes.
Cool.
Get your butts down there.
Right, I'm looking at some foam carpet floor tile type things. Checkmate.
Yeah, I decided I had loads of this stuff after the axe. I was going to make another weapon. Sadly, since then, I've dropped my phone, smashed it, and got a new one, so I've lost a couple pictures. But this is the stuff I had to make the foam axe with. So it's EVA foam check plate, which, as previously discussed, you can get them from Poundland to B&M, basically any cheap homeware place. It's really easy to cut, but it will kill a Stanley knife fairly fast. It will dull the blade. And I had some leftovers, decided to make something small with EVA after the axe.
So you made your penis?
It's a bit like it. So that was the first picture that I've recovered off my phone. That was the basic shape of the knife. And I wanted to make a military style handle, but slightly different blade, so it doesn't look like the same as like machetes or my idea was to set it kind of like an Outlands kind of weapon. Something was a bit practical, not something used by savages.
It's a bit strange that now you've made 2 foam weapons. I wonder what it could mean. Or
I'm
maybe,
going on a killing spree with foam.
maybe I already know. I just can't tell anymore. So, due to a broken foam, we haven't got many pictures of this.
No, but if you can imagine between the pictures of the check plate, it was a couple of scraps of foam. I decided to stick 2 pieces of foam back to back. So each one was approximately a centimetre thickness, carved out a basic shape. And then the only additional pieces I've stuck to it were the pieces around the handle itself. So a bit of a guard. And then after I cut out the basic shape, I had a socket from work that I heated up and pressed into the foam handle. And then a posi screwdriver heated up and stuck in the center of that circle. So it was to give the impression of a screw, or attempt to.
Philip's head.
Yeah, Philip's head screw.
Looks good.
It does look good.
So once again, first attempt at trying a different technique. It didn't stand out too much, so I ran a paint stripper, hot air gun over it, and it just exaggerated it slightly. And yeah, so that was the outcome after it was all painted, weathered. Tried to do a wood effect on the handle, and the shades of the Outlands card next to it's just standard business card size. So the blade's maybe a foot long from handle to tip of the blade. Giggity.
Okay, well, no doubt we'll be seeing some more of this foam weaponry and stuff in the future. For reasons, because there are reasons for it.
Reasons.
So, the next lot of pictures is a follow-up to your overpass that you built recently, which you spoke about in the last update. So
Yeah, that's correct.
Picture's just loading up now, so shout when you want me to move on, Ross. You should be seeing that now.
There we go. Yeah, it's not too bad. Right, so like you said, the last time we were on here, we talked about my overpass and how I want to do some weathering and some graffiti. Put some pictures up on our Facebook page and asked for ideas. And I wanted to try my hand at airbrushing again. So I've tried it once already, and I've bought with some pennies that I've been saving a slightly newer airbrush, like an intermediate skill level of airbrush, which was a Iwata Neo, I believe.
Okay.
And I decided that was my first attempt at spraying a cloud. So if you swap to the next page, because I was going to do some graffiti, so studied some graffiti on Pinterest and other sources.
So you've gone for a gay cloud then?
I've gone for a gay cloud, a cloud puking a rainbow. So I wanted to try my hand at a bit of airbrush. And when I was blending the colours of the rainbow, that was also with an airbrush. It's so exact, this brush. I thought I was going to spray it everywhere, but no, it was pretty precise. I was very happy with the results. That's the first thing I've ever done with this style of airbrush. And then just... it's a gay cloud.
You're going to spray it everywhere. Such a child. So where did you get your airbrush from, Ross?
I got it from Amazon, actually. It was a very reasonable price.
Roughly, give us a rough idea.
It was just shy of £70.
Oh, that's not bad for...
No, it's an intermediate airbrush, they call it. So it's like beginner to, medium skill set. Which I really wish I had when I sprayed the tarmac for the road itself. It took forever.
Yeah. Because some of those, what did you say it was? A water?
Iwata, it's IWATA, possibly? I'll double check on my phone. Iwata. There's loads of different airbrushes out there.
Some of them can get quite
Mega money.
Mega money, yeah. Them and
Yeah.
Badger is the other one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
Badger is normally a pretty good name out there.
Badger's a really good name. Quite expensive to buy in the UK though, because obviously Badger being an American company, so it costs a fair bit over here. The other thing to watch with Badger airbrushes is the nipple on the bottom of the airbrush is actually a different size, so you need a conversion.
All right. Okay.
Oh, the curve,
Didn't know.
the tube.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we can put up an image at some stage, I suppose, about that.
Yeah. It might be
But,
worth doing a review.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with it.
But
Really,
that's
really
it.
happy.
5 stars for Ross. Really, really happy with it.
Yeah. Well, I was blaming myself with the previous air gun. I had to clean it every 5 minutes, the airbrush. I had to take the needle out and strip it. All right, you can do that, but you shouldn't have to do it every 5 minutes with an airbrush. This thing, you could spray for about an hour before you have to clean it, and you certainly don't have to strip it down to that level.
Well, that airbrush you one that I lent you was £10 on eBay, I think. It was something stupid like that.
I mean, it does the job when it comes to scenery.
Yeah, I mean, I only got it to do putting down base colours.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not a problem.
It was about the third one I had though in 4 months, because they're not built to last. Those cheap ones, they're just fall to pieces. But anyway,
This
moving
one
back
here.
on with your
Yeah, this one here, I can even do edge highlighting on miniatures. It's so precise, it's unreal. Right, next picture. So, yep, that was from my gay-ass cloud a second ago. I'm just trying to do some freehand spraying to make it look like a spray can. So, slug. And messing around with another bit of graffiti. So, decided to do a squid-like banana for some reasons. Just something to do, why not? And all the black outline was done with a permanent marker after been spraying it. But the swirly blue pattern behind the squid banana, obviously, what else are we going to call it? That was done with an airbrush as well. Just trying to make some leopard print kind of spots. Just mess around with techniques to see what I can do. Really happy with it. And then I stuck a little poster on there as well, which you can print off anywhere online. Propaganda posters for 40k.
okay.
It's applied with some EVA glue. And it looks like we've got some graffiti on the side of this as well. And it says noob.
Ideal.
I wonder who did that.
Yeah. The only thing I can see wrong with this, and it's not from what you built,
Okay.
but gameplay-wise, if you just put something at the end of that,
It's weighted.
is
It's
it?
all good. It's perfectly balanced.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you put like a foot on it.
Yeah. Or Smaug.
Possibly. But who
Who would want to put that on there? Yeah.
who would even buy a Smaug?
Well, I'm looking at 2 pictures now, and I'm thinking, well, I bet one of them's got one, but the other one's thinking about it.
Well, now that Carl's dead and not answering, Simon's just going to
I'm
go out there
alive.
and say, "Oh no!"
he's back.
Yeah. As soon as
No,
we
I just
sprint,
muted
like
myself.
Simon claiming your miniatures, fixing the wheel.
So, right, thank you, Ross. Simon.
No worries.
Hey,
Right, we're in. You ready?
I'm ready.
You sure?
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah.
I'll put you back. And I'll put you back again. Right. Off you go. Your first picture.
Okay, so my first picture is a bit of a recap for the last one. So, good old Riptooth there, which I finished, and I think I had a finished picture. This is one of my work in progress ones. So, couple of just the work in progress pictures, just to show the difference, because I've actually now finished the Magor's Fiends warband. In fact, I finished Riptooth today. That Riptooth that's on the screen at the current I actually stripped back and have redone to fit better into the warband. If I could have the next pictures, John.
Citadel painting handles.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes, Citadel painting handles. They are good. They are. I know there's been a lot recently about seen it on Facebook and some of the groups about just using a paint pot, and yes, you can, and I do for some miniatures, but the Citadel paint handles are really, really nice to work with. Hold the miniature, no problem. I know you could blue tack it, but you've then got to clean up all the blue tack from underneath if you're lazy like me. I don't have to do that with the paint handle. They look a bit different now as well because a lot of airbrush marks on them due to the fact that I've airbrushed with them and everything. If I could have the next picture.
You're not selling them to me. You're really not. I mean,
No, they're brilliant, mate. They really are brilliant. I would recommend.
I actually think you need to be on the Two Peas in the Pod podcast to carry on about that.
What airbrush do you use anyway?
I've actually got just a cheap Japanese Iwata copy. So not an official Iwata, but a copy airbrush that I got for about 25 quid off of eBay.
Okay.
My airbrush journey, I'm new into it. I got my compressor and my airbrush for Christmas. So currently using it for a bit of base coating, a bit of zenithal highlighting. And the next picture should show the first one of the McGaw's Fiends, which are finished.
Okay.
I think. So you'll notice there, big change in colour. I was originally going to go for a very cold steel for the outer armour and the sort of cream coloured armour on the inside, but after doing a test of it with one of the miniatures, I wasn't too happy. So I went back in and redid the armour and redid the outside to a brass colour. So much preferred that. Got some cold and warm colours going on there, obviously with reds and the golds, and the creams being the warmer colours, with my silvers and my blues being the cold spots on them. So very happy with how these have turned out. I could have the next one, John. This guy here.
That's class.
So this guy here, the skin paint tone I sort of come up with. I wanted to go albino. So actually, when you look at him right up close, he's actually got a red eye with a sort of reddy brown inner pupil. Obviously, trying to keep to the painting side of it. With if you're going to try and do someone who's albino, the albinism is a lack of melanin, so they've got no black colour on it. So they wouldn't have a black pupil. So you would have to go sort of red or brown or orange. So I chose to sort of go for a reddy browny colour on the pupil, which isn't visible on that one, but when you get the model up close, you can actually see it's like a yellow with a red pupil on the inside. The next one is himself.
Should be coming through now. Oh, the joys of a delay.
Yeah.
You see him?
Not yet, but it's fine. I can sort of talk about him. So McGaw, leader again. Had some real fun with the blood effects on this, using blood for the blood god. Used my stippling brush for this more than anything, and stippled on the blood in certain areas. Wanted to make it look like they'd really been in a fight. So some of them got it on their knee. The first guy's got it on his shoulder, as if his shoulder barged into someone and broke their sort of jaw, which was the plan. And they were all on this sort of shade glass sort of style base. So hopefully I'll get some better pictures of them soon, with the completed Riptooth as well, which if anyone wants to, a vision of what the Riptooth looks like, if you go and look up the Warhammer YouTube and look for the Fangamora eel that Chris Peach did on there, it's very, very similar to that. So I actually copied the technique, but gave it more of a sort of Chaos Hound look. I'll put one up on the Facebook group afterwards, actually. For
It's looking really good, man.
that. Yeah. That's that one. And then the next shot should be a picture of all three of them together on the old painting handles. That was under a bit of a light. But I had some of the pictures. Like I said, I'm trying to get my photography up a bit more. So I'm going to be investing in some lights and a better camera soon, hopefully, because this is all taken on my camera phone.
Yeah, they're looking really good, Simon.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much.
Are you sure
So,
you painted them? Are you being honest?
I'm being completely honest, mate. So, and these guys will be at the Grand Clash with me on Saturday. So, hoping to do relatively well at the Grand Clash. But I'd be super stoked if they actually got them chosen to go into the cabinets to be voted on for best army for the weekend. So,
yeah, cool. Right, so we're back to Kill Team.
we're back to Kill Team. So earlier on, Carl touched on the fact that Kill Team Arena is one of the pre-releases for this weekend. And I had the pleasure of speaking to a lovely young lady up at the Warhammer Open Day, or the Warhammer World Open Day, should I say, New Year's Open Day, and I got a little bit of an insight into Kill Team. So, Kill Team Arena, new expansion for Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team, gonna bring in some new units with it, so be able to take different units on top of the options that are already in the Kill Team book. It is for competitive play. Now, one of the things that the young I spoke to said, didn't get her name unfortunately. Go to the next slide, John. Next picture.
Yeah.
One of the problems with Kill Team at the moment as a competitive game is that the scenarios seem to always be one-sided towards a player where scenery is concerned. And obviously, when you want to play a competitive game, you want it to be as symmetrical as you possibly can, so no advantage. So this is the whole reason why Kill Team Arena has been brought in. Now, this is indoor combat, so uses a lot of the doorways and stuff like that, as you'll see in the picture, and both sides of the map are completely symmetrical, meaning that you have a even gameplay right the way across. I really like it. I'm really, really excited for it. I will possibly pick it up, not next week, but the week after. But I will see, because I've just obviously spent a fair amount of money on Shadespire and Lord of the Rings, so somewhere my hobby budget has to give.
Sell a kidney.
I've got 4 kids I could sell first. You know.
That's what Carl does. He sells the kidney. He's permanently on a dialysis machine. Constantly just dragging it around with him.
Oh, I thought it was a kid's knee.
Kid's knee. Yeah.
They're quite easy targets in a Merc Sprinter, mate. Yeah.
Looking at that picture, is the board divided up into squares? Is movement square based?
No, so it's still free movement. So it does look like it's divided up. It's not. It's free.
Well, I'm just
so.
looking at the first 4 Ultramarines I can see there in the bottom. Well,
yeah, they all seem to be very handily put into a square. So.
But I'm guessing it's not going to work with bigger bases. So if we don't even mention that. So we'll move on to the next picture.
So the next picture is just a photo that I took at the Open Day, and this photo is of the new sector kit just so that it's nice and up close and got a nice picture of it. Had it all nicely painted up in the cabinet. Yeah, it was really good. And those kits are a superb value for money, really. You get in them.
Don't see many skulls on them.
No, it's a good thing, isn't it?
It is.
It's an unusual
I do see
thing for
one.
Yeah, there's always going to be one. I can see it on sort of window there, but yeah.
Good. I hate those skulls. They just
Oh.
really.
Well, speaking of skulls, my next hobby and something that I've been doing whilst we've been on the cast here, I've actually been cleaning up some Army of the Dead and King of the Dead, and I'm going to put together some Warriors of the Dead as well for my next Lord of the Rings army. With the 3 hunters coming out this weekend, obviously it's one of the legendary formations in the Gondor at War book. But yeah, I'm actually going to be getting some Citadel skulls for my bases because I actually want to do it as when they go to the pass. So my bases are just going to be skulls, so it's going to look a bit Cornish, but hey.
Okay, never mind.
So moving on.
Better than mine. Mine's just bird sand. Literally,
Yeah.
I sprayed mine grey. I put on some of them. I put 2 coats of Hex Wraith wash on it, and then some I put 1 coat, and then I just put bird cage sand on the bottom, and that was it. They're done. As far as I'm concerned, they're tournament ready.
Yeah. Well, they certainly are. They're painted, and that's what matters, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do look, they do look good when they're on the table. So.
Right. So.
Okay.
Underworlds
news. So it's going to be my little thing on the cast. I'm going to be doing Underworlds news. So picked out one of the new war bands, which is coming out this Saturday. This is the Godsworn Hunt.
Hunt.
This is the first war band with 6 members in it. So we've had a lot of 5-member war bands, 4-member war bands. We've got obviously the Stormcast who have 3s, but we've not had a 6. So it's quite interesting. We've had 7s, yeah, and we've even had a 9 with Zarbag's Gits, but this is the first 6. I'm really, really excited for these guys. I love my Chaos models, if you haven't guessed. And these are the Dark Oath, so they are the old Chaos Marauders, as it would have been back in the day, back before the old world went boom. And yeah, I'm excited for these guys. So if we go to the next picture, please, John.
Yep, just loading up. Brown sprue.
Yeah, so this is the models on a sprue here. Again, all push fit as all the Underworld stuff is, so really, really simple to get into the game. Literally clip them off the sprue, clean them up, and push them together and put them in the bases, and away you go. You can put them on the tabletop. You don't even need to paint them if you don't want to. There's been a big spark debate this last week where one of the guys in the community, Jamie Giblin, actually put up about people shaming people for not painting their models. I think as long as you're playing the game, that's what's important to me.
Send him my way next time he starts kicking off about people not painting their models.
Well, he actually put up a really good article about, that it's not him that was saying it. The article was basically about models and people shaming people who don't paint their models.
Oh, that's
it's been a great debate for many, many years, painted versus unpainted. I don't think we're ever going to get to the bottom of it. I think, it's your hobby. As long as you enjoy it and you're having fun, you do you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. It's not about what other people think about your models. If you're happy with grey plastic, then you keep playing with grey plastic, as far as I'm concerned, and no one should be shaming anyone about it.
Exactly. You know, we're all a community, and you know, we could go into it for ages on this factor, but I like painted models. I like to paint myself, though. That's the sort of painting side of me coming out, that I like to see painted models on the table. But if my opponent puts grey plastic or brown plastic or whatever colour plastic models down on the table, I've got no problems as long as we're having a game.
Well, you find this hard to believe. I got into this hobby to paint the models. I wasn't interested in the game. And I used to be a dedicated painter.
And good.
Yeah, well,
Really good.
I used to be. Many moons ago. But I knew a guy who only had one hand. And he tried to paint his models and found that people were commenting, weren't being very nice about it. So in the end, he stopped playing with any type of painted models and just went plastic, and found exactly the same thing. People were trying to, oh look, you can't be bothered to paint your models. The guy's only got one hand. And I remember getting in a heated argument in a shop in Southsea in Portsmouth with some guy about it. And I told him quite clearly, it's his models, you can do what he likes with them. He paid the money, you didn't. If you don't like it, don't play him.
Well, there's one thing, isn't there? You know, if you see something, then offer to paint the chap's models for him if it really upsets you that much, you know.
So yeah, I won't. It won't be something that tolerates with me for very long if someone starts shaming people about models being painted or not.
Yeah,
there's no room for it. Community can be very toxic when it wants to be, and we just don't need it. Okay, I'm looking at a character card.
Yeah, so on the community website and on the stream last Thursday, we had the two new warbands go against each other. And this is the first one. This is Thedra. She's a wizard. Starts off at level 1. Now, I really like the mechanics they've got with the Dark Oath. She doesn't have an inbuilt spell. Their inspiration mechanic is when an upgrade is applied to this fighter, they instantly upgrade. They instantly inspire. And as you can see, she's got range of 1, wizard level 1 to start off with. She rolls 2.
Right, can I just stop you there?
Yeah, certainly, mate.
For those people who are watching who have not been following Shadespire, may not know what a level 1 wizard is. Because I know it's a new mechanic.
Yeah, so in Night Vault they brought out the wizard mechanic, and the wizard level is how many dice you roll to cast spells.
Right, okay. I knew that, obviously. Well, I didn't.
So she's got a very respectable starting profile. Range 1, 2 smash, and 2 damage. With 4 movement, 1 dodge, and 3 wounds. One of the things about the band is that they are below wounds in this war, which is quite unique, really.
They're what? They're below what? Sorry.
They're all below 4 wounds, which is even their leader, even their champion card is below 4 wounds. So as a starting profile. So she's going to be a bit squishy with 1 dodge. Going to need to keep her at the back. Going to need to protect her a bit. But yeah, she'll be very, very good. And her inspired stat is amazing. 2 dice, needing hammers for 3 damage. That's just golden. Put great strength on her. She inspires straight away. She dice with.
Right, now Simon's dropping out, or is it just me?
Oh, I think that might be the stream.
I was going to say, I see some lightning, by the way. That was affecting you guys.
Oh, the ex-wife's out on a broomstick. Right, we've moved on to the next character.
I really like these guys, actually. Very Conan-esque.
Yeah, very Conan the Barbarian-esque. So the next one is Grundam Bloodeye. Again, Same Inspire stat, so
You have that,
upgrade
John.
applied to them.
So that
Upgrade
sorry?
applied to them.
Good comment, and I'm sure you're above it.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I'm always above childish behaviour. Sorry, Simon, carry on.
That's all right, no problems, mate. So so again, Grandan, similar stats to Thedra. So 2 hammers to hit, 2 damage on the basic. Upgrade applied to a fighter to Inspire. Same movement stat, same dodge stat, and still the 3 health points. Inspired stat goes up a point of damage on his attack and goes up a point of movement. So he's going to be an absolute beast. You know, again, great strength. Anything like that, Glory Seeker, it's going to be doing sort of 4 damage a time. So really, really good. On to the next one.
Yep, we got a Mohican.
Yeah, so Jagathra. This is the spear throwing. Absolutely superb. Again, Inspire condition of when an upgrade is applied to this fighter. They inspire. She's got 4 movement. The best thing ever though that they've done is the javelin. I love the feel of the javelin. So with the javelin, she can only make the attack once per game. So she throws it once, and if she uses that attack when she makes a charge action, it has +1 damage. So really, really thematic. Really, really love it. Apart from that, she's going to be a bit of a. Once you've used her, you're probably going to she's going to be a sacrificial pawn, really. She's going to be one that dies quite quickly with only 2 wounds, only 1 dodge value as well. She does go up to when she inspires, she does go up to an 8th threat range on hexes, which is really, really quite far with that javelin.
Okay, moving on.
Next is Shond, the head claimer. Not bad stats. His inspired version, however, he goes from a dodge to a block value for his defense, which is really good, and gains an extra dice on his attack and cleave on his weapon, which will ignore other, warband's block value. So he is very, very good. Nice big great blade there. And then the next one. We should have Olo now.
Yep.
Which is the guy with the hunting bow. I'm really, 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 really looking forward to him. He's got some cool cards, which we'll come to in a minute. He's got a hunting bow. Goes up to 2 dodge when inspired. The inspire condition throughout the entirety of the Dark Oath Warband is the same. So it's when an upgrade is applied to this fighter. And a nice 3 range, so a nice 7, 7 threat range for his attacks.
Right. It looks like
the next one,
a polar bear, but it's meant to be a dog, right?
It's a miniature dog, yeah, and unfortunately, Grawl, I'm not too keen on. I think he will be one of my sacrificial pawns within the band. He'll be one that I'll put up third on. Cannot be given attack action upgrades. Can't hold objectives. He's only got 2 wounds, 1 dodge. You're going to have to really, really keep him safe if you want to keep him. His attack stat isn't anything to write home about either. 2 swords, 1 damage, and then inspired 3 swords, 1 damage. Really isn't much to write home about. So unfortunately, I think he will be the sacrificial doggy.
But he's got some speed and some dodge when he's inspired, though.
He's got some speed and some dodge when inspired, but he can't hold objectives or anything, which is going to, if he could hold objectives, it would be a completely different kettle of fish. I think it'd be really good.
He's your finisher. When you've got someone down, then you can suddenly round him in quickly to finish that guy off. With that sort of speed, he'll be running around the board. That's the way I would play him. Yeah,
possibly. I mean, this is sort of like my sort of hot takes, really. I I'm looking forward to getting them and looking forward to getting them on the board and actually playing them because I think they're going to be an awesome warband to play.
Okay.
So the next one.
There's a picture of some cards.
Yeah. Now, I'd like to thank John from the Can You Roll a Crit blog. Games Workshop were very, very nice and sent him an early access pack for the Dark Oath, and he reviewed it on his blog. So I think I sent you a link to that one, John, for later on. But if you go to canyourollacrit, all one word.com, that is John's blog, and if you guys can go there and read that, that'd be brilliant. Because it is a very, very good blog. He does everything from the competitive side, how to grow a local scene, but he usually does his weekend tournament roundup with some decks. So well worth taking a look at there. So yeah, thank you, John, for the pictures. So this is another mechanic that they've put in for the Godsworn Oath, and again, I'm really excited for this mechanic. So this is the Oath of cards. Now, people who have played Shadespire recognize these, but they are basically cards that currently exist in the current format. So we have Oath of Conquest, which is Conquest, Oath of Denial, which is Denial, Oath of Annihilation, which is the card Annihilation, and Oath of Supremacy, which is the Supremacy card. These are slightly different though, because these, if you can show them to your opponent at the start of the phase, and if you score them, then they are worth 1 glory point extra. So you're giving away your game plan for the turn, possibly. You could be, luring your opponent into a false sense of, a false sense. You could play Oath of Supremacy and, your opponent can try and stop you from scoring those objectives. You don't have to. If you do show it, though, if you do reveal it, so it's a May ability, reveal it. Okay. But if you do, you do gain that additional glory. So, you could score in this warband with Oath of Supremacy, and Our Only Way Out. And if you showed Oath of Supremacy at the start of your turn, you could score a massive 9 glory, which on the first turn is an amazing glory to score.
We should move on. Oh, there you can roll a crit.
Yeah, so that is John's.
I've put
John's website.
The website in the chat for anyone who wants to go and have a look. If not, if you're watching a recorded version, it'll be in the Doofer box underneath.
In the Dewberry Firkins. Yeah. So again, like I said, John's blog. I've been reading it for pretty much ever since he started writing, and he is a tournament playing person. He has multiple shade glass under his belt, and so he knows what he's talking about. So now we move on to some talking of the Inspire condition. We've got the upgrades. So Chaos Boon, and this is quite cool. It's -1 wounds, and this fighter's attack actions with a range of 1 or 2 have +1 damage. I think that's really, really good. -1 wounds with some of the upgrades we've got out there at the moment. It's not a big deal, especially on the Godsworn Hunt band. It's not a massive deal because they're all very low wounds anyway, so they're going to be very glass cannony. But does also combo with the next card,
Path to Glory,
which should be Path to Glory. So Path to Glory is +1 wound and +1 dice to this fighter's attack actions. You can only apply this upgrade to a fighter that already has an upgrade, which is okay. But Path to Glory and Boon of Chaos, you've not lost anything, but you've gained +1 dice and +1 damage, and you're still at your basic stat. So that's quite a good little combo, and they're both Dark Oath only upgrades. So if we move on to the next one,
Scrolled Javelin.
Yeah, so the Ensorcelled Javelin, it's a restricted upgrade for Jagathra, so this is a javelin that comes back to her. Also has cleave and +1 damage on the charge. So if you put this into the deck, you'll be keeping Jagaffa around, I think. I might not put this into my deck, but it's certainly a card that I picked out that sort of I'm quite happy with. The next card,
which is Ensnare.
Now this is a spell, so as I said earlier, Thedra, she hasn't got any inbuilt spells on her, unlike some of her counterparts. But this is an amazing spell. So it's 2 lightning bolts to go off. So she can't cast this really until she's inspired. But 2 lightning bolts is a very, very easy thing to cast because there are lightning bolts on the magic dice than there are of the swirls. So you're more likely to cast this. And if it's cast, choose an enemy fighter with 4 hexes. That fighter has a permanent -1 move until it goes out of action, because this is a persisting spell. Now, in a glass cannon warband, like the Godsworn Hunt are, you're going to be wanting to control what your opponent can react with. And Ensnare is one of those abilities that's going to allow them to do that.
Brutal Sacrifice.
Now, this is brilliant. So, choose a friendly fighter adjacent to another upgrade in your hand that can be applied to the fighter you choose. The other fighter is taken out of action. The upgrade is applied to the fighter you chose. I think that is absolutely brilliant. Will probably be the dog or Thedra after she's thrown her javelin. Be unfortunately brutally sacrificed for one of my warriors to get better. And you inspire them in the process. Don't need to pay any glory for it. You just apply the upgrade.
Cool. Dark Destiny.
Dark Destiny. This one I picked out because, again, it's a Godsworn Hunt only card. But at the moment, we have a banned and restricted list, or a bar list, in Shadespire. So when Nightvolt came out, they had a few tournaments, and then they sort of decided to put a banned and restricted list in. And 2 of the cards on the banned and restricted list are Soul Trap and Tethered Spirit. And Dark Destiny is basically Soul Trap and Tethered Spirit, but in a ploy card. So basically, if an action would take a friendly fighter out of action, roll a defense dice. On a shield or a crit, the fighter takes no damage, is not driven back, and is not taken out of action. So, that one shouldn't be restricted, hopefully, as it's only the Godsworn Oath that can take it. So that's quite a nice little card for them. Does take up a ploy slot, but the next card should be Point Blank Shot.
Yep.
Now, this is one of the reasons why I'm really, really excited about. I said they're a glass cannon faction, but I think there are some really, really good possibilities with this card. So, Point Blank Shot is a upgrade for Olo. 3, 2 swords, 1 damage. So it only does 1 damage, but hey ho. The reaction: after an enemy fighter's move action that ends adjacent to this fighter, you can make this attack action. It must target that fighter and cannot drive them back. However, the next card that I've put is a card that we don't see very often in Shadespire, and it's a card called Flickering Image, which is from was the Undead upgrade. Now, effectively, after your opponent's made a move action, so this could be a charge and a attack action. So once they make their move action and adjacent to Olo can shoot his dice. If he has Flickering Image on, he could potentially score a crit. We can use cards like Potion of Rage, Haymaker, etc. to up his attack dice. So it becomes more likely that he's going to roll a crit. And if he does roll a crit, he can be pushed 2 hexes. So that means that you can leave your opponent without being, after they've charged in the middle of nowhere because Olo's shot a bow at them away. So I think that's quite a good little combo that I'm looking forward to putting into my Godsworn deck and having a try. And the next card,
Incredible Leap.
is an incredible leap. This card, I think we will see in pretty much every deck that is aggro based. So this is the first fighter to make a move action in X activation, can pass through blocked and occupied hexes and treats lethal hexes as normal hexes, and they must end this move in an empty hex. This basically is changing the attack vectors of the whole board. You know, your opponent thinks, oh, he's not going to charge through that lethal hex me because I'm, you know, so many hexes away, straight through the wall that's in front of him. You know, bang, he's right where he needs to be. So I think this will be a really, really good card. And all of these are going to be in the Godsworn. The next one.
Archer's Focus.
So really, really good universal upgrade. So the universal cards can be used by anyone. Now, this one here is quite interesting, especially with we have wizards in there. So this one is an awakened weapon that will allow wizards to re-roll their attack dice. Because a lot of the wizard actions are range 3 or more. So again, pick this out because we've got Olo, who's range 3. We've got Jagathra, who's range 3. So both of those are going to, you know, benefit from this. But also the likes of Stormsire from the Curse Breakers and others, they're all benefit from this. The next one.
Ooh, hold on. Have I loaded that in? Yeah. I have. Sorry. Carry on.
That's all right, mate.
Arcane Savant.
Yeah, so Arcane Savant. Now, this is a really interesting upgrade. So it's +1 wizard level, and you apply this upgrade only to a level 1 wizard. Now, the really, really interesting thing about this is that if we put this onto Thedra, who is a level 1 wizard when she's uninspired, if we put it onto her, she not only inspires, but she also becomes a level 3 wizard because she gets the +1 wizard level, meaning she rolls 3 dice and is effectively the highest wizard level in the game. Which is really, really good. Restricted to wizards only, this one, but is an upgrade.
So, when she inspires, through the upgrade, she becomes a level 2 wizard, and because of the upgrade, she then becomes a +1, so level 3.
So level 3. So she becomes the only level 3 wizard in the entirety of the game.
Right.
And I think I've got just one.
Must-have, isn't it? Really?
Oh, it's going to be a must-have for Thedra. You know, I don't see it being used much outside of Thedra, but for Thedra, I think it's going to be really, really good. And the last card, which I can see hitting the banned list, well, not the banned list, but the restricted list straight away, because I'm sure that after the Grand Clash this weekend, and that there will be a new banned and restricted list come out, or an update of it. Tome of Offerings. So this is the Cataphrane Tome. So in Shadespire, we had the Cataphrane Relics. In Night Vault, we seem to be having these Cataphrane Tomes. And this one is a universal upgrade. At the moment, there were only two factions that had this. Both of them were 1/8. It was Garrick's Reavers and Magor's Fiends. This is a universal one. So when this fighter takes an enemy fighter out of action, gain an additional glory. Now, you might think, well, that's not big, but you know, over the course of 3-4 kills, that's 3-4 extra glory you've gained. That's a lot of glory to catch up on opponents. So I can see this going to the restricted section. Obviously, that's my opinion. I don't know this for sure. I've not got any inside knowledge from it, but I think from the, you know, I think it'll go to the restricted section pretty much straight away. And I would expect to see this in pretty much every deck.
And that's the last one.
And that is the last one this time.
Which which means we've reached the end. Thank you, Simon. We should look forward to more of your Underworld stuff. Get some pictures from your tournament at the weekend.
Yeah, so next cast I'll have some pictures from the Grand Clash, and I will probably be reviewing Molog's Mob. A bit of a non-hot take, because hopefully I'll put them on the table as well before I get to the next cast.
Okay. Right, so that's the end of this live update. The guys, Ross and Simon, have an Instagram account each. They don't share one, so you can follow how their hobby's going on. Ross is down the bottom, and Simon paints models is up the top. You can also try and catch me playing some video games on my own Twitch channel, which is Twitch TV /HOCP_John. Current favourites at the minute are the Elder Scrolls Online and Warframe, but I'm looking at Paladins. If you play any of those games, drop us a line, let's group up and play a few games. I think the next live update is the 4th of February, which is directly after the Plymouth 4 Games show. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out, because normally on the Sunday after Pour I get right royally smashed.
On knowledge at a library.
Yeah, on alcohol in a bar, in a stripper's bar somewhere. So that'll be the next thing that comes up. Carl, I hope you're feeling better soon.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm awake. Yeah, we'll be fine. So.
And I think that's it. So thanks for watching. And if you're watching this on YouTube, remember you can enter into the competition to win a £25 Amazon gift voucher or the equivalent value for whatever country you live in, just by going to twitch.tv House of Chaos Productions and clicking the follow button. And I think that's it. I think we're out.
That's a wrap, guys.
Cheers.